Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to our live coverage of Dritte Liga football. There are 4 games left to play this season, and matchday 35 of the German third tier starts with a cracker at the Tivoli in Aachen, where Alemannia Aachen and MSV Duisburg go head-to-head as both clubs look to keep their promotion hopes alive in West Germany. The hosts must win to ensure they still have a fighting chance to push for promotion to the Bundesliga 2, even though their fate wouldn't be mathematically sealed, whereas Duisburg can provisionally move into second ahead of a crucial match against FC Energy Cottbus in 9 days' time at the MSV Arena. The starting lineups here: Mesad Selimbegovic makes 2 changes to his starting 11, as well as a shift in formation. He chooses to match Duisburg's back 3 with one of his own, as Jamal Yabra comes into defence. Elsewhere, Gaudino is brought into midfield, whereas Lund and Dritte Liga top scorer Lars Gindorf play in support of Mika Schröz. Schröz and Gindorf have over 50% of Alemannia Aachen's goals in the league this season. Dietmar Hirsch, meanwhile, sticks with exactly the same 11 who swept aside Hoffenheim 2 last week. In fact, it's exactly the same system and personnel that is deployed for the 3rd consecutive match. Lorbinger leads the line. He's been in superb form since joining the club in January, but particularly in recent matches, with 3 goals in his last 2 appearances. The Alemannia Aachen fans, clad in yellow and black, looking to lead their team, sing their team to 3 points. It is a massive match. There wasn't much of a contest in the reverse meeting back in November when Duisburg were able to win 3-1. This one expected to be a much tighter affair in front of a pretty significant contingent of travelling supporters as well. MSV Duisburg, who are dreaming of back-to-back promotions, having just been promoted to the Dritte Liga from the regional leagues at the start of this season. What an achievement it would be for Dietmar Hirsch to lead Duisburg to those back-to-back promotions. Promotion hopes may live or die here at the Tivoli as Alemannia Aachen welcome Duisburg to the west of Germany in a crucial match for promotion to the Bundesliga 2. 9 points separate both sides ahead of kickoff, with Mesad Selimbegovic knowing his players will have to be near perfect from now until the end of the season. The good news is that they are the best team in the Dritte Liga since early March. The bad news: they haven't beaten Duisburg since December 2009 back in the Bundesliga 2. The visitors with a chance to complete the league double over Aachen and go provisionally into 2nd place. You can see that it's a pretty much sold out Tivoli for this game here. Capacity of almost 33,000 fans inside this football ground, an iconic football ground in Germany. The 2 captains, Wieper on the one hand and on the other, the appearance of Bulic, the midfielder. The referees for this game: Lukas Bennen takes charge, Finn Konen and Nicholas Simpson are the 2 assistant referees, whereas Philip Huer is the 4th official. And there's going to be a change of ends to start this game. Really big anticipation ahead of this match. The stakes absolutely massive this evening at the Tivoli. Duisburg start the game in 4th place in the Dritte Liga table. 3 points would take them in 2nd place ahead of Rot-Weiss Essen and Energy Cottbus' respective matches. But it would also take them only 4 points off VfL Osnabrück. Osnabrück beaten by this Duisburg side only a few matches ago, with Florian Kruger's goal separating both teams. Alemannia Aachen, meanwhile, start the game in 7th place. They are 9 points further back than Duisburg. That could very quickly change. If Alemannia Aachen do not win this game and other results go against them this evening, then their hopes of promotion may come at an end following the end of matchday 35. The Tivoli in Aachen is the setting for the start of matchday 35 in the Dritte Liga. It is all about promotion this evening here in the west of Germany, as Alemannia Aachen look for 3 points against Duisburg to keep their hopes of chasing after promotion to the Bundesliga 2 alive. For Duisburg, they start the game 4th in the table, but with a win, they would go provisionally into 2nd, ahead of their other rivals' commitments later on this weekend. The reverse fixture back in November ended 3-1 in favour of today's visitors. Dietmar Hirsch looking to lead Duisburg to back-to-back promotions, having just been promoted to the Dritte Liga this season. And if you needed any other information to get you fired up for this game, then these are two of the highest scoring teams in the Dritte Liga, and we also have the league's top scorer on the pitch here. And an early opportunity for Duisburg to come forwards. The inside ball is nullified and won back by Alemannia Aachen. Lund. There's a foul there. Kruger looking to get back. He does work hard for the team, Florian Kruger. His numbers this season have been possibly a little bit disappointed from his perspective, the German, with only 3 goals scored and 2 assists. But he's been selected in the starting 11 for the 3rd game running, Kruger, and it shows that Dietmar Hirsch has a lot of confidence in this man. That's a good ball forwards. Schreurs trying to get after that one. Schreurs and Gindorf have been an absolutely devastating attacking partnership this season. 39 goals scored between them. Gindorf dispossessed from the ball there. It's one back, immediately recycled down the right flank for Duisburg. Now a little bit of space perhaps. Well intercepted. Schreurs has stayed onside. And that's going to be the first corner of the match. And a burst of noise immediately. Bulic wears the captain's armband. He can at times be a little bit of a volatile character, Bulic. But again, the kind of player that you would rather have in your team than not. Works ever so hard. He's got a great vision of the game. And ever since he cemented that starting position with the number 6 on his jersey, he's not been out the team. Bounces back and a little bit too far ahead there of Chiala da Silva. Set pieces could be a crucial factor in this match. Alemannia Aachen have got a big team. Ball kept well there. Chiala da Silva all the way back to his goalkeeper, Seftis. 2 Greek players in Alemannia Aachen starting 11 with Petros Bagdalianis also selected. Bagdalianis, who is very imposing physically. Ball fizzed into Gindorf there by the captain, Wieber. Wieber comfortable with the ball at his feet, in possession there with 3 Duisburg players trying to close him down. It's out of play off Bulic, and immediately with a run forwards here, and a really good tackle. Still alive with Oemerschen. Jonas Oemerschen is such a good player. Gindorf there trying to play him in. Oemerschen, the kind of player who just does not stop running. The engine on that man is very, very impressive. 22 years old, Jonas Oemerschen. Bright future ahead of him. He keeps performing at the levels he's shown this season. Gindorf. It's headed away, and it'll be collected by Brauner. Came through the ranks. Jonas Oemerschen with Dynamo Dresden. Played 9 games for Dynamo Dresden in the Bundesliga 2 until the midway point of the season, when he was then loaned out to Alemannia Aachen. That's a loan move that will finish at the end of January. Incredibly noisy inside the Tivoli. It's a fantastic atmosphere. Both sets of fans having a good go at trying to gain the upper hand of the battle in the stands. Slightly misjudged there. Selim Begovic. Whole of Germany, of course, is anticipating what we shall see this summer in the United States of America, with the World Cup coming to North America. That's taken in his stride. It's a good run and a cross fired in at the near post. Lorbinger right in front of the travelling fans. Now Koskun. One of the few times Duisburg have been able to get their foot on the ball in the early exchanges of the match. They weren't able to hold it for long, but they're back in possession immediately. You have to say that the new setup preferred by Dietmar Hirsch, this 3-3-3-1 formation, has certainly yielded results for Duisburg, as Lorbinger wasn't given the right ball there. Following the win against VfL Osnabrück, which ended 1-0, Hirsch saw an opportunity to perhaps try something a little bit different against Mannheim, switching to this 3-3-3-1 formation, and it yielded immediate results in the last 2 games. Playing in this setup, Duisburg have scored 7 goals, conceded 2, taken maximum points. They're coming up against a team that hasn't tasted defeat since early March. Alemannia Aachen have been on a fine run in the Dritte Liga. Only Saarbrücken have been able to take a point off them in the last 5. They've been the best team over that period of time in the German third tier, Alemannia Aachen. They're now 8 games undefeated, 7 wins in those 8 matches for Mirsad Selim Begovic, who's really been able to inject something positive into the side. He took over in November 2025. Cotter there trying to bring in Lorbinger. It's a big clearance by Jamal Yarbrough. One of the players brought into the starting 11 for this game by Mirsad Selimbegovic. He and Gaudino, the only two changes made in this match. Or made ahead of the match, I should say. Rauner. First 10 minutes here at the Tivoli have been minutes of observation by and large from both sets of players. Getting a feel for the match. That's going to be a free kick. Koskun gives away the foul, and he's waved over by the referee. Weber also interested. Stops Pierre Njombe from setting off. We know how important Pierre Njombe is to this Alemannia Aachen side. Another very young player in this squad of players. Njombe, who's on loan to Alemannia Aachen also until the end of the season from Magdeburg. 5 goals and 5 assists for him so far this season. Very useful he has been as well. So what's to come from this free kick? Gaudino stands over it. Gaudino's delivery, headed away. It's good defending. It was also a good cross. One back here by Ermischen. Kindorf keeps it alive. Gaudino. Weber. Clever ball, Schurz. Ermischen. No surprise, he's seen a lot of the ball so far. Kindorf. Ermischen. One back here by Duisburg. Problem is they're defending so deep at the moment, Dietmar Hirsch's players, that they've got nobody as an out option. Jessen watching that one out all the way. It's a real tussle in that midfield at the moment. Nobody's coming out on top. It's Kruger there. A little bit of pain. It's coming together Long ball forwards easily negotiated by Brauner. Dietmar Hirsch watching on. Appointed in July 2024, Dietmar Hirsch oversaw Duisburg's promotion last season, hoping to oversee another this season. Duisburg, the team, lest we forget, who started the campaign best, had a more difficult period around the midway point of the season before refinding some solid form. They've won 4 of their last 5 in the league, beating Munich 1860, importantly beating VfL Osnabrück, Mannheim, Hoffenheim too. The only team they lost to was Rot-Weiß Essen, who are currently second, a point ahead of Duisburg in the table. The month of October was one that was particularly damaging for Duisburg's promotion ambitions, as they failed to win a single game during October. Also picking up their first loss of the season at the time against Munich 1860. A bit of mind games perhaps going on here at the moment. Free kick is finally taken and it's going to go straight to Seftis. Brauner had a bit of sprinting back to his own goal to do there. Alemannia Aachen against MSV Duisburg has been a fixture in German football that has its roots also at the highest levels of the German game. Though most of their encounters were back in the 60s in the Bundesliga. 60s is when both clubs had their best runs in the German top flight. Alemannia Aachen finishing runners-up at the end of the 1968-1969 season. Duisburg finished runners-up a couple of seasons earlier in 1963-64. The most battles that these two have been in the second tier of German football and Bundesliga 2. This at the moment is the problem for Dietmar Hirsch and for his players. Unable to get forwards anywhere near Seftis' goal. Twice Alemannia Aachen have managed to beat Duisburg by a 4-0 scoreline. Once in the Bundesliga back in September 1968. And then they were able to repeat that feat in 1985. This is only the second ever meeting between both sides in the Dritte Liga, with the previous meeting being the one earlier this season, which Duisburg were able to win 3-1. Konanos, Moya, Koskun on the score sheet in the match. for Duisburg, with Ademi able to get himself on the score sheet for Alemannia Aachen. Lorbinger. Medilun closed down quickly and closed down hard there. Yabra. Cleverly done by Chiala da Silva. Well defended by Koskun. Now Kotter with a bit of space. Gindorf, the player, tracking back. Bulic. His turn to win a corner. Right in front of the travelling fans. I mean, how amazing is that? Lorbiger, Bitter, Kruger, with a little bit of reading and studying to do mid-game, possibly having a look at a corner routine. You would imagine it's the instructions that Lorbinger has tucked away in his left sock. In it comes, back post targeted, no space whatsoever for Fleckstein. Bitter. Very coolly done there by Bagalianis. Well, midway through this first half, it has been very, very cagey indeed. Goalkeepers haven't had a save to make so far. Midfield battle is what has taken centre stage, so that's brilliant football. Jessen, slightly too far ahead of Lorbinger. Wanted a better ball there, Lorbinger. Shows his frustration. Let's Tiger Lorbinger. Very good football by Kruger and Jessen initially, though. Lorbinger again. He's got a good shot on him as well. Might think about it, does. Permission. Now Chombe's made the run. Dealt with well. Bulic plays that sentinel role in front of the defence and plays it ever so well, Bulic. Bitter. That's another good ball forwards. And Jessen this time will have more time and space. Fires in the cross. Kotter with the first big chance of the match. Kruger finds Jessen. This time the cross is much better. And it's the attacker who can't steer it on target. Not easy. But it's the first time in 25 minutes gone here at the Tivoli that we've seen one team take advantage of the opposition defence. That might just shake things up a little bit. Clever pass round the corner. Gindorf. Closed down immediately though, Lars Gindorf. Good spell for Duisburg. Bitter attacks it, wins it. Jessen. Bulic. Bitter. Kept in. Not enough in that, according to the assistant or the referee, who were perfectly positioned. Fleckstein. Free kick this time is given in favour of the visitors. Mehdi Loun guilty of committing the foul. Yabra sticks out a leg. I think he's a little lucky that he gets the ball. There's a little shove there by Schreurs on Bulic. My apologies to Mehdi Loun. It wasn't him who committed the foul. Headed away, Yabra again. Bitter. What a battle it is. Crunching tackle. And you knew that one was coming in. Schlicker guilty of it. Tempers flare. And you just knew that that challenge was coming. And I actually think Ben Schlicker might be a little bit unfortunate, because it seemed to me like he got the ball. He gets the ball, but he gets a lot of the man as well. First yellow card of the game. Confirmation of the yellow card shown there. There's been a yellow card shown to Lorbinger as well. He doesn't seem happy at all with that caution. I wonder what happened in the aftermath there. Yabra also cautioned for his troubles. So the first real fracas in this game leads to 3 yellow cards. Probably forgive the players for being a little bit emotional. We had so much on the line here at the Tivoli. Although having to deal with your emotions is a big part of football. Loun. This time the tackle is clean. Ajombe couldn't hold it. Lorbinger trying to get round Yarbrough. Jamal Yarbrough wins the battle. Kiala da Silva. This might be up there as the Dritte Liga game with the best atmosphere we've seen this season. Very, very noisy. Half an hour gone at the Tivoli. Still goalless between Aachen and Duisburg. No real chances, you have to say, apart from that stab at goal from Cotter. Yarbrough there thumps into Lorbinger. Oh, those two are going to have to be careful. In fact, both head coaches there smiling, telling their players just to calm down. That's a great image, that. Dietmar Hirsch with a little smile to Mirsad Selimbegovic. And this is why Lorbinger and Yarbrough very little in that from Lorbinger. Yarbrough much more emotional, you have to say, but they were separated by the assistant referee. And when that happens, you knew there was only one result. Here's Joshua Bitter, slightly behind his man. And it's one back. And it might open up here as Najombe tries to get through. And it drops to Mika Schreurs. Take a bow. The Tivoli erupts. Alemannia Aachen have struck first. It's a sublime finish by Mika Schreurs. And it starts from Koskun's poor back pass. Gindorf. Then Gaudino. And this is down to Najombe. Doesn't give up the chase. But Schreurs, what a finish that is. Number 18 of the season. And one of his most important yet. Well, just after the half-hour mark, Mika Schreurs' 18th goal of the campaign has given Alemannia Aachen the lead. Alemannia Aachen's first significant chance in the match, buried by an excellent Mika Schreurs finish. Bitter. An element of luck with the way it fell to Schreurs, but he had so much to do and did it so well. Gindorf. Mermission missed control, but it comes off the Duisburg player last. Remember, Alemannia Aachen have not beaten Duisburg since 2009 in the Bundesliga 2. That win was away from home, as it happens. The last win here against Duisburg was back in 2003. Goals by Eric Meyer and Alexander Klitspera. It'll be disappointing for Duisburg, particularly as the goal came right when they were the ones pushing a lot more for the opening strike of the match. The ball boys there might have their ears pulled by their steward at half-time. Took a long time for Jessen to be able to get the ball back. Schröers protects it well. Now Lohn! It's 2! And Alemannia Aachen are flying. All the focus in the build-up was on Lars Kindorf, but it's his supporting act to have struck this rapid-fire 1-2. And this is all down to Mika Schröers again. Controls it, turns, has the vision. Lohn has the quality. And Alemannia Aachen lead 2-0. That is soft defending from Duisburg's point of view. No wonder Dietmar Hirsch was shaking his head. Mehdi Lohn with his first goal since scoring twice against Werl on the 21st of February. Might be an injury here for Jessen. This doesn't look great for Jessen. Seemed to be holding his knee there. When you stop running like that of your own accord, it's very often not a good sign. A bit of time for these Duisburg players to regroup. Not conceded 2 goals, Duisburg, since they had 5 put past them by Hansa Rostock. Is Jessen going to be okay? Might be able to run it off, as Lorbinger and Yarbrough are still debating their yellow card, no doubt. Looks like Jessen is going to be all right to continue for now. Niklas Jessen, another youngster, 22 years old. This is his 19th appearance of the season. Started the last 3 matches. Duisburg are going to have to find a way to push players a little bit further forwards and maybe give Viet and Bulic a hand in midfield. There's too many gaps. Fleckstein. That was in between Lorbinger and Jessen. Nothing either player could do. And 5 minutes to go until half-time. Braune. Would Braune be a little bit disappointed with the goal he conceded from Schreurs? Possibly. Does he expect the strike to come? Probably not. That ball reached the Alemannia Aachen fans without knocking over any of the beers, who were carefully positioned there. Alemannia Aachen coming forwards again. Schreurs. Lund tried to play it back to Mika Schreurs. Like Kalianis and Lorbinger tussling. Lorbinger won it back. Dietmar Hirsch has wanted to stick with the formation that has been getting him good results, understandably so, but let's not forget the quality that he has on the bench available to him, particularly in those midfield positions. Patrick Susek, 7 goals, 7 assists for him. Jan Simala, 3 goals, 7 assists. Conor Noss, the Irishman, 10 goals, 4 assists. These are all players who could be introduced and could change the way this game is going. In particular, there's been very little offered by Viet and by Dominic Cotter. Here is Cotter, and he's lost the ball. Assistant referee judged that had stayed in play. It's back to Braune. Fleckstein. Viet coming really deep to try and get himself on the ball. That's how little he's had it. Here's Bitter. Happy to take everybody on as Lorbinger tried to reach that first. Bulic. Jessen. Viet. Kruger. A little bit soft by Kruger, but it's reached Bitter nonetheless. Again the cross. And again Lorbinger can't quite connect. Cotter ensures that Duisburg hold on to the ball. Oh, what a game we would have on our hands in the second half if Duisburg are able to score one just before half-time. Viet, all of a sudden, as soon as he gets himself on the ball in those deeper positions, Duisburg seem like they have a little bit more about them in terms of the build-up, the control. Jessen. Bitter. Esad Selimbegovic for now in a really good position to take home a 9th consecutive game without defeat. Nothing wrong with that, according to the referee, Lukas Benin. Offside given against Najombe, who's been playing further and further forwards. 3 minutes added on at the end of the first half. Bulic reaches it first, wins it well. Koskun's cross. Bitter. Schlicker. It's all a bit messy. Jessen. Viet. Better football. Kroger. Kroger had to release that a little bit quicker and didn't. All the way back to Brauner. Back Kalianis. Lorbinger presses alone. That's the problem. Duisburg are going to have to push players further up the pitch, like Bulic does there, wins it. Now a chance for Kruger. Kruger! Still! And in it goes! The referee's given a free kick. It's a free kick given. Well, let's have a look at this again. What a mess defensively. Kruger, his first touch lets him down. Is there anything in that? There's Bakalianis there. The way Bakalianis goes to ground very theatrically. Pretty good indication of the amount of contact that was in that. Nonetheless, the goal does not stand. Alemannia Aachen have been let off the hook big time. There is contact from Cotter on the right foot there, but the ball's already gone. He's completely miskicked it, Bakalianis. One of six, half a dozen of the other. Yet again, he shakes his head, Dietmar Hirsch. Lorbinger. Yabra has stuck to Lex Tiger Lorbinger like a pot of glue. Koskun. This might be the last chance for Duisburg in this first half. Lorbinger. Nachombe. Down the channel it goes. It'll be another throw in for Duisburg. We're well past the 3 minutes of added time. Cotter, referee with a quick look at his watch. Viet. Kruger. That is the half-time whistle at the Tivoli. A first half that has had plenty of talking points. The big one is that Alemannia Aachen lead by 2-0. Mika Schreurs and then Mehdi Loun with the goals in the first 45 minutes for Alemannia Aachen. Duisburg may feel they should have had at least one before half-time, but referee Lucas Benen blowing for a foul in the build-up. It sets us up wonderfully for the second half. This a massive game when it comes to the race for promotion. At the break, Alemannia Aachen 2, Duisburg 0. Welcome back, everybody, to the Tivoli in Aachen for the second half between Alemannia Aachen and MSV Duisburg. After 45 minutes in this all-important tie at the top of the Dritte Liga standings, it is Alemannia Aachen who hold a 2-0 lead, courtesy of goals from Mika Schreurs with an excellent finish for the first one, and then Mehdi Loun putting a finishing touch to some very good play by Schreurs. There are going to be changes at half-time. We expected that, with Schlicker, who was on a yellow card, making way. And we have the introduction here of a player many believe should be in the starting 11. That's Patrick Susek, who comes on with number 37. Duisburg haven't conceded 2 goals since Hansa Rostock put 5 past them on the 14th of March. But in the first half, they created little, not enough. Schreurs' goal did come when Duisburg were the ones who were pushing a little bit harder for an opening goal. Let's see how Dietmar Hirsch's team react in the second half. Duisburg's chances of gaining back-to-back promotions and a return to the Bundesliga 2 could suffer a major hit if they are unable to take anything away from this game against Alemannia Aachen. In the first half, the home side took their chances when they needed to, through Mika Schreurs and then through Mehdi Loun. That was the big difference between both sides, as emotions at times got the better of the player, but by and large it has been a very entertaining game of football here in the west of Germany. The Tivoli has been on fantastic form. Brilliant support from both the home and travelling supporters. But the Duisburg fans now want their team to push on and get themselves back into the match. Whether or not they're able to do so remains to be seen. Jessen down the channel, immediately brings in Susek. Susek, little shove, stays on his feet, wins the corner. Akalianis, who is perhaps a very fortunate boy not to have scored an own goal at the end of the first half, able to make the challenge there. That was one of the more contentious moments of the first 45 minutes when referee Lukas Beden blowed for a free kick after Akalianis had seemingly put the ball into the back of his own net. Contact with Cotter, it's true. Corner here. Punched away by Pseftis. And Susek there with a wild finish. Ball won there by Koskun. It's Koskun losing possession that actually led to the first goal. That's a really good pass into Kruger, whose touch led him down. Loun. The jump is quick, but he may not be that quick. Brauner didn't come to the ball. He wanted a distribution play to him. This will be towards Lobinger. Free kick given in favour of Kruger. The arm does swing out there from Aachen captain Weber. That's clever refereeing from Lukas Benin to not award anything more than just a free kick. Here's Gindorf, who, by his standards, has been a little bit quiet. Kotzer. which has somehow won that back. Jessen. Here's Bulic. Koskun's cross. Kruger's header. Nobody gambled at the back post. Better movement though from Duisburg. A little bit more threat in the forward area of the pitch since the start of the second half. Carla da Silva, who's just signed a new contract with Alemannia Aachen. It'll keep the centre-back with the black and yellows until 2029. Only joined last summer, quickly established himself as a mainstay in the first 11. Born in Berlin, Carla da Silva. This is an opportunity now for Duisburg. Kruger tried to find Lorbinger. Just not quite happening for Florian Kruger in the final third of the pitch today. Lun, Najombe. Good defending by Bitter, and again by Joshua Bitter. Bulic. Jessen. Susek. Watched very closely by Ermischen is Susek. Kruger. Offside given against Florian Kruger. Cleared away there by Yarbrough, who's been a real rock at the back in this game for Aachen. Just to underline the test that this represents for Duisburg, Alemannia Aachen have been the second best team in the Dritte League in the second half of the season. That's the improvement that we've seen under Mersad Selimbegovic. Bulic trying to do a little bit too much in a dangerous area. Najombe was fouled, but on we play with Gindorf. Gindorf, can he spot a teammate? Gindorf. This is Ermischen. Pull back to Lun, who missed it. By Kalianis. Viper. Gaudino. Lun, second goal scorer of the game. Schreurs, the first goal scorer. Wieber. Jombe. Fleckstein. Just as Mika Schreurs was getting back up to his feet. Not the first time we've seen notes distributed in this game. This time, though, it's for the home side. Tactical reorganisation, possibly. It seemed to me like it was the disposition of how he wants his players to set up here. Mersad Selimbegovic possibly reacting to the introduction of Patrick Susek. Ermischen. Brauner out quickly to collect that and send Koskun on his way. Cotter. Koskun delayed the pass. Cotter made the run inside. Lun. Free kick given. Well, Yarber has gone down here, and I just wonder if it's so that Wieber can clarify where and how he needs to set up him and his teammates. We've seen this before, even at the highest levels of the game. You think of Manchester City against Leeds United earlier on this season. Daniel Farke very unhappy when Donnarumma sat down, and Pep Guardiola had a lot of time afforded to him to be able to pass on instructions to his players when Leeds were in the ascendancy. Had a lot of talking points in that moment in the English press. Looking at Alemannia Aachen from now until the end of the season, getting into the top 3 places and a playoff position, which is 3rd in the Dritte Liga. To try and get a playoff to get into the Bundesliga 2 remains very unlikely at this late stage of the season. They'd have to be near perfect, as we said in the build-up to the game, with Alemannia Aachen 9 points behind Cottbus, but you also have to think that Cottbus are going to be playing against Duisburg in the next game, so either of those two will win or drop points, but it still means that it will leave Aachen with the necessity to win all of their remaining games, which are against Hansa Rostock, Viktoria Köln and Havelse on the final day of the season. With Havelse possibly having to win that match to stay in the Dritte Liga. That will have to remain clear. Susek. Koskun has a go, and it's not a bad one either. Triple change for the visitors as Lorbinger makes way now. as does Florian Kruger. Theodor Topken is introduced. Conor Noss is also brought on. Dominic Cotter, one of the players to make way, with Simala introduced. I did say in the first half that Duisburg have got excellent players available on the bench, possibly with a very important impact. There does well. Susek on the overlap. Or rather, it was Simala. As of yet, no reaction from Duisburg as we've reached the hour mark, as we've gone past the hour mark here at the Tivoli. Just coming back to Alemannia Aachen and where they can finish. Fourth place is a real objective for Mersad Selimbekovic. For the DFB Cup. There by Simala. One back now. It's good footwork. Ermishen left in his tracks by Jessen. Pull back. It's great defending by Kiala da Silva. One back by Bulic. That's a good ball. Topken, Noss. Away to the side. Great save. Seftis answers the call. Nothing wrong with the challenge by Fleckstein. There could have been something wrong with that one on Noss. Gaudino now makes way. After Yarbrough. Scherzer stayed down. Castell is going to come on. Here's that chance again. It's a really good strike. Trying to go near post, maybe catch the goalkeeper out. Castell made to wait. Headed away. Not far enough as it happens. Simala. In it comes. There's the header. Hopkin got down to meet it. Gaudino. He's going to have to make way here. Does make way, Gaudino, with Castell eventually able to come on here. Out of play by Joshua Bitter. Schreers. Clever ball looking for Gindorf. It's been rather quiet in the game, Lars Gindorf. 22 goals, 10 assists for him. I suppose he's entitled to have an off night. There is Gindorf, dropped to Koskun. Topkin. Nearly came away with the ball. It's going to be Alemannia Aachen who come away with it. And there's an attempt at a lob. In the end, it's a long way off target from Brauner's goal. Just for a half second there, you thought, wow, are we about to see something truly special? Gindorf, Bulic tussling. Susek was there. Castell away. Header one, Susek. It's not clean, any of this. It's a real battle. Lund beaten to it by Bitter. Looked like he won the ball there, Bitter. Bitter. Topkin couldn't hold it. Weber's had a good game in the middle of the park, clearing up. Topkin drops to Noss. Stopped by Weber. It's a good interception there. Out wide it goes to Koskun. Cross met by Simala. "20 minutes left for Duisburg to try and find a way back into this match. This is a result that so far is one that'll be very appetising for Rot-Weiss Essen and Energy Cottbus, with Hansa Rostock also looking to pounce on this and take maximum advantage. If you look at the table, Duisburg play against FC Energy Cottbus next at the MSV Arena. That'll be a huge game. And after that, they'll play against Erzgebirge Aue, who may already be relegated by then, and Victoria Köln, who are safe from relegation, but who aren't playing for anything at this late stage of the season. Lovely move there by Simala. Ball bounces to Loon. Bulic. From Alemannia Aachen's point of view, it's much the same really. And so Rostock awaits them next here at the Tivoli yet again, before travelling to Victoria Köln and then taking on TSV Havelse. Final day of the season once again at the Tivoli. Havelse may already be relegated by then, whereas Aachen could be competing for 4th place or better. You never know. Bitter. Castell's heavy touch allows the counter-attack. Susek, nobody there. One final change. Possibly one final change. Alias Kazar comes on for Bulic. Headed on Topken. Good physical battle there. And back Kalianis celebrates like he's won the game. Shaken there by Topken was by Kalianis. Certainly didn't win the physical duel. It's Erbischen who stayed down. Brauner collects it. Time is starting to become a real issue now for Duisburg. In the last 15 minutes, they're going to have to find a way to do what they've not managed in the prior 75. Jessen. Simala looking to stretch Aachen. Unlucky there, Joshua Bitter controls it and it comes off his elbow. Kazar. Viet. It's given away. And rolled dangerously towards Gindorf, who couldn't reach it. Koskun. It's unlucky because the idea was a good one. Gindorf nearly let it run, did let it run. And this time Brauner stands his ground. Golden chance for Alemannia Aachen to settle things once and for all. Lovely football. Topkin into the path of Noss. Noss stands up the cross. And they needed slapping over by Pseftis. Can he hold on to this clean sheet? Corner comes in, and it's headed home. Live for Duisburg. The substitute, Alias Kazar, left unmarked, and he plants the header past Pseftis. And now Duisburg have 12 minutes left to try and rescue something from the match. Only a second goal of the season for Alias Kazar, but one that may just start a comeback here. Moments after, Alemannia Aachen had a massive chance to equalise, or rather, to take a 3-0 lead. It's now Duisburg who are on the hunt for the equalising goal. Bitter. As always, so precious, Joshua Bitter. Topkin. Finds Simala. He was clattered into there by Lund. Here's the goal again. And it might be an own goal of Bagkalianis. Though if Kazar heads it first and that's on target, that would still be his goal. The final touch does seem to come off the Greek centre-back. In comes the cross. Dealt with. A first time by Aachen's defence. Nos. Lun. Not far enough away. That's a good ball. Never reached Bitter. Cleared by Najombe. Koskun. Another cross. Topkin! Topkin! And then a miraculous double save. Incredible goalkeeping. Let's have a look at this again because it's scarcely believable. The first one's incredible. What about that one? Top class. And it's his right hand. We'd need a camera angle from the other side there. Fotis Pseftis may just have come up with the double save of the season, not only in Dritte Liga but also in German football and perhaps world football as a whole. And Duisburg very near to getting a second goal moments after pulling one back. Alemannia Aachen need to regroup. This game is not over. Nos. What a difference he's made. Najombe looking to get through. Bitter intercepts. Went to take out the man there. Referee has a decision to make as to whether or not that's a yellow card. Two changes made here by Selim Begovic. Mika Schreurs, who started the party, the first to make way. 18th goal of the season for Mika Schreurs. Omar Silla comes on. Watch out for this man's speed on the counter-attack. Medilun has also taken off. Both goal scorers replaced. Torciello for Lun. Stimala. Shown a yellow card for his earlier challenge. Silla. Heavy touch, Gindorf. This is the moment now for Alemannia Aachen, and it's an own goal. How desperately unlucky. Lars Gindorf pounces and is then unselfish, and Joshua Bitter is unlucky. He has to make the challenge, Bitter. It's Fleckstein with a heavy touch, doesn't see Gindorf behind him. It's through the legs of the goalkeeper. Everything that could have gone wrong goes wrong. Selim Begovic on the pitch. Everybody celebrating with Pseftis. You always talk about that little bit of luck that you need in professional football. Pseftis helped via the crossbar and then coming up with that save. And at the other end, 2 minutes later, Alemannia Aachen via an own goal have surely all but ended Duisburg's resistance. Camera picking out the goalkeeper. We'll have to have a look at that save again. Bitter. Rauner. Gindorf releases Silla, and now Silla will have his chance. Silla! Brilliant tackle by Viet. Twice he's been denied. First by Bitter's tackle, which resulted in the own goal, and then by Viet's tackle, which took it away from goal. But I told you that that man's speed could be a factor when you have the quality of Gindorf to pick you out on the break. Omar Silla yet to score this season for Alemannia Aachen. Rauner stayed down. Omar Silla has actually scored in the Bundesliga 2 this campaign for Greuther Fürth. Here's the save again. Let's have a look at it. Watch the right hand. He just reacts and keeps it out somehow. One of the best saves I've ever seen. Only a minute of the 90 remaining. Alemannia Aachen heading towards a 9th consecutive game without defeat. 8 wins during that run. Duisburg and their 3-match winning run coming to an end here. Made to pay for little mistakes, particularly in the first half, Duisburg. Much the better side in the second half. 7 minutes are going to be added on. Well, it's a lot of time. Yellow there and Bitter with a little bit of a coming together, which could have been a little bit more dramatic. 2 minutes of the added 7 have gone. Even the most optimistic of Duisburg fans probably feel that the game's gone now. But maybe, just maybe, if they can get one now, gives them a little bit of time to find a way back. Koskun will have nightmares of that Topkun header earlier on. Intercepted by Jessen. Fabio Torres yellow card. Raune. Far too close to the goalkeeper. This. Gindorf, Stiller. Sek with a foul. The belief is drained from the Duisburg players now. Alemannia Aachen guaranteed no matter what to end matchday 35 in 7th place. Importantly for them, they've narrowed the gap with Vel to just 1 point. Vel, who are the league's top scorers, play against VfL Osnabrück. Just another chance nearly there for Silla. Mala has tried hard since coming on without always getting the rewards he possibly wanted. Torciello. Him and Bitter have been feuding for a little while now. Bitter with a tackle. Semala. Nos. Jombe cleared away by Seftis. Some touch by Castile. And Gindorf. Not many strikes he's had in the game, Lars Gindorf. That one straight at the keeper, which Ghana puts out of play. Last 10 seconds. Alemannia Aachen heading towards a massive win. And it's a win that does so much damage to Duisburg's hopes of gaining promotion to Bundesliga 2. A fantastic game of football, entertainment from start to finish almost at the Tivoli here. But it'll be Mirsad Selimbegovic who takes all the plaudits. Alemannia Aachen stretched their unbeaten run to 9 games and 8 wins during those 9. For Duisburg, the match against Energy Cottbus next weekend takes on added importance. It's a big blow to their promotion aspirations. Alemannia Aachen going from strength to strength under Mirsad Selimbegovic. The final score here from Tivoli in matchday 35 of Dritte Liga. Alemannia Aachen 3, Duisburg 1.